I'm a bit concerned that my software is not going to hold all of you guys, because I had no idea that I was going to get this massive of a response to this workshop topic. And I don't know how many people are going to come live, and I don't know how many people this thing holds. So we'll see.
Do you have a premium Zoom or a regular Zoom?
I think regular.
You might only get 100 people then.
100, yeah. I had well over 400 sign up. So, but not most people aren't going to come live. So I thought
You'll be okay.
Be okay. Like 100 people is a lot. We'll see. We'll see. Hello, this is so cool, you guys. So we're going to use the chat. So if everyone can mute themselves, that would be super helpful, because there's going to be a lot of us, and I don't know. Oh, I can mute you all there. Okay, I'm going to mute you all. I want everyone to say hi. Let's all use the chat, okay? So open up your chat, you guys. Let me know how old you are and where you are. I would love to know where everyone is and how old everybody is. And I'm going to give a couple minutes for more people to join. And I'm going to have to also monitor my Facebook a little bit, because I opened that group just at the last second, because so many people wanted to come. Let me just add these guys and we'll dive in. So let me know in the chat how old you are and where you are in the world, because we are all over the place, and that is so cool. Oh, Forest, Manitoba. I've never heard of Forest, Manitoba. I'm from Manitoba. I'm from Winnipeg originally, and I'm in Costa Rica now. We moved here 7 years ago. Kenora, Jody, hello. Christy, Virginia. Okay, so keep letting me know, you guys, where you are and how old you are. And okay, we'll dive in. So I'm going to just share my screen. I'm going to share screen. I'm a little tech illiterate, which is funny because I have an online business. And let me see. I put together a PowerPoint, so here we are. So let's get started. We'll let people continue to roll in, but I want to really give you guys the most value I can in the time that we have together. And I really appreciate and love that you've all taken the time to join. I have a lot of information for you. Can you guys see my screen? Victoria, yep. Hey, Michelle, cool. 2 people are in my waiting room, okay. All right, I do not know how long this is gonna take, because I just started totally nerding out. And I think when it comes to perimenopause and our bodies, there is a lot happening. Like, there's a lot going on that we need to understand. And what we usually do in this phase of life is go like, I'm frustrated with my body. It's not working the way it used to. And we just go straight to action mode, which is usually exercise more, eat less, start some kind of new fad diet, without learning about what's going on with our body. And so this is going to teach you guys about your body. Because I think that when we can understand what's going on in our body, that will allow us to make educated decisions about what we're going to do to take care of our bodies. And diet culture is huge, and social media is huge, and everyone is yelling at women to eat less and exercise more. It's simply all about calories in, calories out. It's very simple, ladies. You're just eating too much, you're just not exercising enough. And that's really oppressive. And it's not actually how this works when we're in perimenopause. Our body is not as simple as calories in, calories out. Our body is not a bank account. Our body is a very complicated chemistry lab that we need to understand so that we can block out those messages. So that's what this is all about, okay? We're going to talk about what the F is going on with our bodies and how you can adapt your exercise, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset to support you through this phase of life so that you can get fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier at any age. And this is a unique workshop as well because I'm speaking to the fitness-minded woman, the woman who wants to exercise, the woman who is exercising, but it's not working, the woman who wants to get fitter, leaner, stronger, not just lose weight. And we're going to talk about the difference there. You might not even realize that it's not weight that you want. It actually is fitter, leaner, stronger. But again, diet culture is telling us we need to lose weight. But that's different. So this is a really unique workshop that way. Those are the women that I tend to work with. And we need to exercise through this phase of life. It's a really important piece of this. Okay. So what we're going to be covering in this workshop are the phases of the female life cycle, the unique hormone changes of perimenopause, what the F is going on, the common signs and symptoms that you're experiencing. I'm going to talk a bit deeper about the reasons why you're experiencing them because of the hormonal and metabolic shifts that are happening, so you'll understand what's going on. We're going to talk about basic medical management. We'll talk about adaptogens, which is more herbal management. We'll talk about the don'ts of perimenopause and then the solution. And by the solution, that's like the holistic solution, what you can do, because often we think that it's out of our control. And we look to doctors and we look to the healthcare system and we look to supplements, but there is so much that you can do. We all have so much power over our bodies when we understand it and we know what to do. Okay, so we're going to talk about the solution and that's focused on you. Okay, why am I teaching this workshop? Because I'm obsessed with helping women get fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier for life, not for a race, not for a moment in time, not for a 30-day challenge where you lose a lot of weight doing restrictive methods and then you gain it all back because you haven't learned about your body and you've actually trashed your metabolism in that 30 days of restriction. I want you guys healthy for life, not just healthy, fit, strong, confident, and healthy for life. I worked in hospitals for a decade. Like when I first graduated physical therapy school. And when I look back, I realized how traumatizing that actually was for me. I was not prepared to work in hospitals with the world's, like the country's most frail. And what I learned is that how precious health is and how once it's gone, how regretful people were that they didn't take better care of themselves, because what I saw on those wards was a lot of just poor lifestyle choices that people, if they had known, if they had had support, if they had understood their bodies and the implications, then maybe they could have changed their habits. And I'll tell you that the older we get, the harder it is to change. And so when we're talking perimenopause and even menopause, for those of you who are finding me in your 50s, 60s, and even 70s, there's always a lot you can do. But if we can start, if I can help you guys take control of your body, like honestly, seriously take control of your body and want to from a place of science and female physiology, I can like keep you away from seeing what I saw in the hospital and having to suffer that way. So that's why I do what I do. and I'm teaching this workshop, I obsess about women because we have a lot of really unique challenges. And what I see, this is what I see. I'm on the internet all day, and I've been on the internet all day for probably the last 8 or 9 years, is women frustrated in their bodies. So they're going on keto, they're intermittent fasting, they're training fasted, they're cutting, they're restricting, they're doing all of these challenges and restrictions. And what happens is all of these things are working against their actual female physiology and what their body needs. They're unrealistic, they're unsustainable, they leave you feeling miserable. They actually are downgrading your metabolism. They're wreaking havoc on your unique female hormones, and they're messing up your mind. I have worked with thousands of women, and disordered eating, whether you realize it or not, is rampant. Women are underfed. We're not eating enough. Everyone thinks the problem is that you're eating too much. The problem isn't the women who come to me, like, very rarely that people are actually eating too much. They're overfed, eating the wrong things, but undernourished. Because of all this, they're restricting and binging and falling off track and beating themselves up and hating their body and stuck in the vicious cycle. And every time you lose weight on a diet that's really restrictive like this, and you can't sustain it and you gain it all back plus some, you've actually caused more damage to your metabolism than you have helped it. And women are not small men. Women respond differently to these diets and these restrictions than men do. And all of the research out there pretty much has been done on men. And so men are telling us to do this. And it's not working for women. Okay. And it might work short term, but I'll tell you, long term, it doesn't work for 95% of people, because 95% of diets don't work long term. Okay. If this is resonating, then let me know in the comments. Okay. Women are not small men. I stole that. I didn't make that up. It's from Dr. Stacy Sims, who I study a lot from. She is a female specific high performance researcher. And so she's one of the resources where I get all of this incredible information. Okay. Okay. So that's why I'm doing this. I want you guys to focus with me. Getting people to focus with me is one of the hardest things, but I need you to learn. I need you to be here with me. If you can shut everything off around you, that would be awesome. If you can dedicate this time, if you have to watch this in chunks, that's fine, but watch it in chunks on the replay, or come back to me on the replay with focus. Okay. Because this is really powerful stuff that I'm about to share with you. And this is, you guys, I don't want to waste anyone's time. Okay. So I want to make sure that this is the right place for you. If it isn't, hop off. There's no hard feelings. It's no problem. This workshop is for you if you are a goal-driven woman who's tired of the struggle, tired of cravings, tired of restrictions, tired of shame, misery, exhaustion, weight loss resistance, binge eating, clothes that don't fit, working out hard, but not looking like you're working out at all, and hating your body. Okay. This is for you if you're ready to learn, if you're ready to commit, if you're ready to hear me out on diet culture, and you're ready to detox diet culture. That's a work in progress. I'll work you into that. But if you're ready to do things differently, take ownership of your health, your fitness, and your body. If you're ready to make changes, if you're ready to do the work, and if you're ready to get results that you've never gotten before, because you're going to do things differently than you've ever done them before. Okay. If that's you, then this workshop is exactly what you need. Awesome. You're ready. Yes. Focus and taking notes. Perfect. You guys, this is me. Awesome. Great. You're in the right place. And I'm so excited to have you. I love a group of like-minded, powerful women. So just briefly, who am I to teach this? I'm a physical therapist. I'm a mom. My kids are 9 and 11 now. I'm the creator of Running Moms and the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method. My goal in life, I've already told you, well, my goal in work is to help women understand their physiology, work with their physiology instead of against it, so they can get fitter, leaner, and stronger at any age. My goal in life is to be fit, lean, strong, and healthy forever, so I can always be on adventures and never, know that I've done everything I could to take care of my body. I mean, everyone can get sick, absolutely, but I want to know that I've taken care of myself, you know? I'm not a fitness unicorn. I love breakfast. I love pizza, but I take my health seriously. I've studied a ton. I've taken a ton of courses. I've been in the fitness and health and acute care world for, I don't know, when did I graduate? 2005. So like, let's say 20 years. And I'm obsessed with women's health, women's physiology and women's psychology. And I've worked with thousands and thousands of women. So the unique thing that I bring to you guys in this is that I understand the science, but I also understand the psychology of women. And that it's that experience with you guys that makes what I do very unique. It's not just textbook. Like textbooks are great and studies are great, but that doesn't always explain what's going on. Like there's a lot of deeper stuff going on for women specifically, especially women in our 40s and 50s, right? Like we've spent decades taking care of our families, the stress that we've been under, the caregiving we've done up to now, pushing careers, raising babies. We've been grown up under diet culture's thumb. We've been grown up to push, be equal, earn the same, do everything. But we've also raised families. We haven't slept for decades. That makes us really unique. And it's not just about food and exercise. And so I really know how to bring all those pieces together and help you. Like that's what I'm here to do. Okay. I invited my friends. I wish they could have come. My doctor told me there's nothing you can do. There is a lot you can do. We're going to talk about that. We have to understand doctors. They're not trained in, they're trained to assess and manage with medication. And that's fine. There's a time and a place for that, you know? But I wish they'd stay in their lane a little bit, but there is a lot you can do. They just aren't trained in that. So just, don't need to, I always find like the internet can be, the holistic people can be really angry at doctors, but I think doctors have a place. They absolutely have a place, right? But when it comes to our bodies and what we can do, we have to think holistically. We have to look to the physios. We have to look to the nutritionists. We have to look to the functional health practitioners. And we are coming more mainstream these days, and we need to take that expectation off the doctors. So let's dive in. Topic 1, the phases of the female life cycle. Like I said, I don't know how long this is going to take. I put this together, I jammed it, and I talk fast. Ask me questions here. I'll try come to them later and we'll have a Q&A at the end. But yeah, I don't know how long this is going to take. We'll just roll through it. So the phases of the female life cycle. Now, I just think this is fascinating. Like we don't really learn about this stuff, and this is our body and our life, you know? So there's 5 phases. Pre-puberty, right? That's when you're a little girl. And then you hit puberty, right? That happens between the ages of 8 and 14. And this is when your hormones begin to change, right? Estrogen, progesterone, FSH, LH. I'm going to go in, but I'm not going to get too scientific on you because this is like really sciencey stuff. So I'm just going to introduce some of this stuff, but try not to go too deep. But puberty is when a girl's body, so the hormones begin to change and a girl's body starts to mature to prepare her to make a baby. As much as we think we are the same as men, we are not. Our bodies are designed by nature to reproduce. We are meant to have babies. And so our hormones are designed to support our bodies to make babies. Okay, so this is when a girl's breasts develop, her hips widen, she gets body hair. This is where we see an increase in fat in women and young girls, right? To their thighs, to their midsection. They also have a change in coordination because their body is changing. Skin changes, emotional changes, and their periods start. Dudes at this age, they lean out, they get wide shoulders, they get strong, they get powerful, and women are preparing for babies. So we hold fat because we need energy. And so this is when girls drop out of sports. This is when eating disorders begin. This is when a lot of body image stuff happens because we're not teaching girls about the power of their body. Women are powerful goddesses. but because of the changes and because diet culture tells us we all need to be super skinny, it's a real struggle for girls, and it's not talked about enough. And we've all been through it, so we can think back to that for ourselves. Then there's oh, I have my numbers wrong. Sorry, there's 6 phases. Phase 3 is premenopause. So those are those from menstruating years to perimenopause. This is when you're getting married and having babies and taking care of those babies, right? That's where the pregnancy and post-pregnancy is in there as well. So there's those phases, and those have lots of hormone things. Think about what your body did for those of you who've had babies. Like, wow, hormones, right? Just think about those babies. That is serious hormonal stuff going on, right? And then we hit perimenopause, okay? So this is the 4 to 10 years prior to menopause. This is when our bodies are starting to, our reproductive system is starting to shut down. We've gone, like, our bodies are designed to make babies, so our hormones are ramping up to do that. And then our ovaries start to shut down. And so our hormones are changing as our body prepares to shut down our reproductive system. And there is a lot of hormonal chaos that goes on. This is the period where women tend to gain the most weight and feel the most frustrated. And it's not really talked about a whole lot. Everyone talks about menopause, oh my God, menopause, but it's actually perimenopause. And again, it tends to happen, we're seeing it happen earlier now, we're seeing it happen harder now. And I think that that's because the last 2 years have been so extremely stressful. And if we can think back to even before the pandemic and the stress that came along with that, specifically the stress that came along with that for women who were working from home and taking care of kids and doing all that other stuff, which is really, truly mind-blowing. Women didn't go into the pandemic doing that great with our stress. Our stress was already high. I've been working with women for years. So that's that period of life, perimenopause. It's the years where you've been pushing careers and taking care of kids. You haven't slept for decades. And now your ovaries are starting to shut down. Your hormones are going wild. And that's why you feel all the things that you're feeling that we're going to talk about. Okay. Menopause is actually, it's the next phase, and it's actually only one day. It's the anniversary day of that marks the day that you haven't had a period for 12 months. So after you haven't had a period for a full 12 months, that day is menopause. And now after that day, you're in postmenopause. This is where your sex hormones bottom out and you are no longer reproducing, and you're in that postmenopause phase, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about postmenopause here, and the solutions that I talk about, the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Method solutions, apply to those of you in postmenopause as well as those going through perimenopause. What I teach, it applies to everybody because it's the basics, the foundations. Things get a little tougher in perimenopause that we're going to work through, okay? Women are powerful goddesses. Yeah, we are. Absolutely. I love that too, right? The challenge with doctors is that not all of them know their place. No, they don't. That is a different webinar. I'm not going there. Okay, so all of these phases are driven by your unique female hormones, which are designed to help you make a baby. That's, again, like, I'm a professional woman. I got all these things going on. I got goals and dreams. I want to go on adventures, but my body wants to make babies. Like, that's what it does. That's what we do as women. So all of these phases are driven by hormones, and hormones are chemical messengers with receptor sites all over the body. So interesting to understand. This is why we have changes everywhere with puberty, when you think about all those different changes, and with perimenopause, right? We don't just see changes, our ovaries shut down and we stop having a period and that's it. Those hormones, yes, affect the release of the egg and the shedding of the lining, but there's receptor sites all over the body, which is why when those hormones are in chaos, like I'm going to show you right away in perimenopause, you have all these other things going on because you're not making the estrogen and progesterone anymore. And so, yeah, your periods are stopping, but it's also affecting so many other areas of your body because they've been using those hormones as well. So that's what's going on. So that's why as hormones shift, everything shifts. Women's bodies are designed and dudes are completely different. And that's a really big thing. dudes are different. Their bodies are not going through all these phases. And all of the diet research, most of the diet research that you see in mainstream media has been studied on men, because women are too difficult to study. And so they don't study them. They study them only in the phases of their cycles that they can study. The fluctuating phases are too difficult. And so that's why we can't extrapolate. That's why 95% of diets don't work for women long-term, because they don't work for women. They haven't been studied on women. So keep that in mind, okay? That's why your husband can go on keto and drop 10 pounds and you're like, I feel miserable, because they're not, our bodies aren't the same. The studies weren't done on women, okay? We can, and so here's something that's really important. We can't fight our physiology, nor should we. We have to understand it. We have to respect it. And we need to learn how to work with our physiology, not against it. And this is where I see a lot of women struggling really throughout. I've been working with women since really that pregnancy phase. I've grown up since then and evolved, and so have the people following me in my messaging. But when we fight against our hormones, we won't win. We have to understand what they do. That's truly the secret to getting fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier at any age, is understanding that physiology and how to work with it. And no one is teaching us how to do that, right? Doctor says nothing you can do, right? Go on this medication. And hustle culture is telling you to go, 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 grind, grind, grind. You're just not doing enough. Push harder, go faster, do more. Diet culture is saying you're just eating too much, eat less, don't eat carbs. And so you're doing all these things trying to get healthy and feel better, but they're all working against your physiology, which is why they don't work and why you just feel worse and worse as the years go by. Okay, does this make sense, you guys? Let me know in the chat. I would love to know if you're still here with me and this is making sense and kind of interesting. So topic 2, the unique hormone changes of perimenopause. Okay, this is going to kind of blow your mind. So stay with me. This is where I get a little sciencey, but this is your premenopause cycle. So this is a normal, menstruating cycle when you're pre-perimenopause or you're starting menopause just at the beginning. Okay, this is what happens. It's cyclical, right? It's a 28-day cycle, give or take a few days. Most of us have this every year, like every month for years. Estrogen, progesterone are the two that we're going to focus on. But this is the cycle of them. Okay, and this is pretty steady every month because your body wants to make a baby. You're in those prime baby making years. So your body's going to do this. It's all very sadly making sense. Yes. I know people go, oh my God, when I teach them this, they're like, but don't feel bad because no one's teaching you this. You don't know. I'm here to teach you. Okay. So this is the normal cycle. And this is the perimenopause cycle. Okay. And this is why you feel the way you feel, because your hormones are going completely out of control. Okay. So these hormones coexist in a delicate balance to keep your periods regular. Okay. Estrogen plays a role in ovulation. Estrogen is what triggers your ovaries to release an egg, and it causes the lining of your uterus to thicken, preparing your body for pregnancy. It also is what makes you feel sexy and want sexy time, right? It's a hormone that makes you more horny, essentially, because again, your body, your hormones are so powerful and your body it's designed to reproduce. And so it makes you feel that way. And so you do, and you'll probably notice there are periods of the month where you have a higher sex drive than others. That is by hormonal design. Okay. And then progesterone is what prepares the body for pregnancy in the event that in ovulation, the released egg is fertilized. If the egg is not fertilized, the corpus luteum breaks down the production of progesterone and breaks down the production of the lining. You shed the lining and progesterone falls and the cycle begins. Okay, so this is where you see estrogen comes up, right? Estrogen comes up, the egg is released, and then estrogen drops off, and then progesterone surges. Okay, gets you ready for pregnancy, and then, oh, the egg's not fertilized, boom, it pops back down, and you start the cycle again. And this is where your period begins. Okay, I have a whole a whole course on how to adapt to this cycle, how to adapt nutrition and training to this cycle, because there's a lot that goes on in there, but I'm not going to address that in this one because we are talking about this, about about this chaos that's going on. So I just understand that this is normal, it happens, it's cyclical, it's 28 days until perimenopause comes. This is kind of some of the role of estrogen and progesterone in that. And again, estrogen, remember I said hormones affect, there's receptors all over your body, not just in your reproductive system. So estrogen also has receptors all over your body outside of the reproductive system. It's important in regulating processes in your muscle, your skeletal muscle, your cardiovascular system, your central nervous system, like your brain and stuff. And it impacts, and that impacts overall health. Estrogen affects cholesterol levels, blood sugar levels, bone and muscle mass, circulation and blood flow, collagen production and moisture of the skin, brain function, including your ability to focus. So here, this is where your body wants to be. This is ideal, and your body gets used to having these levels of hormones so that it can do also, like it can help you release the egg and shed the lining and all that stuff, but it also does all this stuff. So when this is happening and you don't have those same levels anymore because they're bottoming out until the point that there's none left, your body, you're not doing all this stuff. And that's why you feel the way you feel, okay? Estrogen, where is it made? This is important for later. So estrogen is made in your ovaries, right? Your ovaries are starting to shut down, so it's not producing as much in perimenopause, but it's also produced in your adrenal glands and in your fat cells, okay? So important to understand that's also, estrogen's also made in your fat cells, okay? So this is perimenopause. So both estrogen and progesterone start to go down, and then they bottom out in menopause, okay? So look at this chaos. Like, no wonder you feel miserable. And the thing is with this is that it happens to all of us. We can't fight this. This happens. It's normal. We just need to understand it, the impacts, and then we have to adjust the rest of our life around it to support our body so that it can be as healthy as it can, even though this is happening. Because yes, this is happening, but this is where we need to really adjust our workouts, our mindset, our expectations, and our nutrition to super support ourselves because our hormones are a mess, okay? Just because our hormones are a mess doesn't mean there's nothing we can do and we're destined to feel miserable. It just means we actually have to take better care of ourselves, okay? FSH and LH are follicle stimulating and luteinizing hormone. I'm not going to dive into those in this. We're going to focus on the main ones, okay? Because again, this can go really deep, and I'm not going to go that deep on it. But these, we talked about this. This is why you feel chaotic. And to top, oh right. So here's the other thing that happens in this chaos. To top it all off, if you look at the time in life when you're going through this transition, this is the time where you're pushing and building your career, raising your family. You probably haven't slept in decades. We just came through a pandemic. Stress has been huge. And even without a pandemic, like I said, we women were stressed before. This is a stressful time in life. You might have parents whose health is deteriorating that you're taking care of. You've been putting your health last. You've likely been yo-yo dieting, trying different quick fixes to help you feel better. And that's not your fault. You just want to do something. You've been inconsistently working out. And the ease of quick fix processed foods and the rise in sugar that is available everywhere and in everything makes these natural hormonal fluctuations feel extremely worse than they should, okay? Perimenopause is almost guaranteed to be a shit show, okay? Your body has to stop at some point. And often this is now in perimenopause. So this is so we can usually adapt to all that stress and like all that trauma stuff that's going on through those years, that no sleeping, that lots of processed foods, skipping meals, over, under exercising. Like our bodies can get away with that in our 20s and 30s. We can hold it down. Okay. But when we hit 40 and these hormone changes, or, mid 30s, some people are hitting this in their early 30s because stress has been so big. That's when it piles on faster. We all of a sudden start to feel the effect. We're like, oh my God, it feels like overnight my body has changed. I haven't changed anything in my eating and nutrition, but my body feels like a truck hit it. Weight is piling on. I don't know what to do. And that's because your body has been like coping and able to process it, because when you're younger, you're also like a Ferrari, right? Like your body is firing and it functions, and it can manage the chaos. When we get older, we're going to talk about this, but we can't manage the chaos anymore. Our bodies are like, no, I am so tired, and now my hormones are changing, and I can't continue to do the work for you. Like, and this is what's going to happen. We're going to exhaust you, and we're going to pile on weight for you. Okay. And so at some point we have to stop and really take care of ourselves. Okay. Because that's just what happens. So topic 3 is common signs and symptoms. So what are the signs and symptoms of these crazy hormones, of estrogen and progesterone going down? Perimenopause is known as the second puberty. So there are some classic things that happen to a woman's body, just like in puberty, right? It's classic. Just we don't hear it when it's happening, really, especially probably when we grew up. They didn't talk a lot about it. I think they talk a lot more about it now. But they didn't back then. No one talked about it. So your body went through all this chaos and you didn't know what was going on. That's happening again now, but we're talking about it. We're going to educate you. Louise said, shit show, isn't that our lives always? Exactly, Jody. Louise says, I just took 5 weeks off from work, stress leave and burnout. Yep. Yeah, exactly. You can handle it when you're younger. You can't handle it when we're older. And we come from hustle culture, right? I was raised to push and do everything and be equal and earn and be the best, and that hits us, where it doesn't hit men the same. Okay. It doesn't hit them the same, nor are their responsibilities generally as big as ours are. I could go on, but I'm going to leave that too. Okay, so symptoms. So you got to understand that symptoms vary greatly from woman to woman through this phase, and everyone's, you're going to start to feel them. The age range is very variable. The severity is very variable. It all depends on, everybody is unique. The information that I'm sharing is meant only as a guide about what you might experience, and it does not even cover all the possible symptoms. And the other thing to understand is that all of this stuff that's happening, is it from stress? It could be. That's the reality, right? Like the symptoms and things that we're going to talk about can be due from stress. They can be due to a lot of other things. Is it stress or is it perimenopause? The only way to know for sure is to go to your doctor and get a bunch of tests done, and that's fine, and I recommend that. But the reality is, the solution, whether what you're experiencing is from stress or hormonal changes, the solution is the same. We've still got to manage our bodies the same way. We've still got to take care of what we can take care of. And whether it's from stress or changing hormones, it's still really important right now, more than ever, that we get our health back in our control. Okay. So common signs and symptoms. So this is where most of you found me when I posted all these things. You're like, oh my God, that's me. I need to learn. Right. So changes in menstrual periods, more frequent periods or less frequent periods. See, they're very variable. It can be shorter, they can be longer, heavier or lighter, but there's changes. Clotting, you have like more clotted blood in them. For me, I knew I was, because my cycle is perfect always. And I had a period, I had one, then I had one in 2 weeks, and then it's getting like thicker and clottier. And then I skipped a month. I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally in perimenopause. I got to do more research on this. You get hot flashes and night sweats because your body's thermostat, your hypothalamus in your brain, becomes more sensitive to slight changes in body temperature. Again, you're not as resilient as you used to be. And when the hypothalamus thinks that your body is too warm, it sets off a chain of events, which is your hot flash, to cool you down. So again, your hormones are so strong. Those hot flashes are meant to cool you down because the hormone shifts have made your body not able to handle temperature changes as well. Okay. There's lots of vaginal symptoms, dryness, itching, painful sex. These symptoms are usually caused by low estrogen levels, and they may start months or years before the menopause transition. So like I said, we talk about all these things as being menopause, but they're actually perimenopause because of the fluctuations as we go to the bottoming out completely of the hormones. Hot flashes can last months to a few years. And for most women, these symptoms gradually get better. The vaginal symptoms can increase over time, okay? Problems with sleeping, falling asleep, staying asleep, getting up early and not getting back to sleep. And that's what leads to fatigue, right? My body gets up between 4 and 5 like clockwork. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, although I prioritize going to bed at 9 o'clock. I actually can't even keep my eyes open after 9 o'clock now. Like my body needs more sleep, but it gets up at 5, maybe sometimes even 4. So if you're getting up, you're not sleeping, you're getting up earlier than usual, you're missing out on a lot of sleep. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, not able to get back to sleep, you're missing out on really powerful REM sleep, okay? And then when you're not sleeping, that creates a whole cascade of other effects, which is what affects cravings and blood sugar balance and just a whole lot of other things. Like you're not able to make muscle when you're not sleeping, you're miserable, you're more irritable. So much stems from this, right? Again, they're all connected in some way. Decrease in sex drive, breast tenderness, fibrous tissue, like the tissue in your breast it can change, can get racing heart rate, migraines and headaches happen. When the estrogen levels are fluctuating, the serotonin and norepinephrine levels in your brain are affected, which leads to mood swings, irritability, impaired memory, low concentration, brain fog, forgetfulness, and depression, anxiety. And also, these things are also because of no sleep. So again, it's like this vicious cycle. Your actual brain neurotransmitters are changing and not working the way they used to. I always say, like, I can't multitask anymore. When I had babies, I could multitask like a badass. Like I could multitask like nobody's business. And now I can't. Like I have to focus. Like I can't, when my kids are home, I actually can't work. I can't function. And so that's all going on. And then we feel bad and then we beat ourselves up. And then that just further leads to more problems. And then what we want to do is then we go on a diet and like ramp up our exercise and feel bad about ourselves, or we go and eat like a cake or an ice cream, right? And it all just sort of like spirals us all downhill. Bloating is something a lot of people told me they struggle with. This is due to estrogen dominance as progesterone decreases and you're skipping ovulation. Slow hair growth and hair loss is really common because again, the estrogen and progesterone have receptors all over the body. So as progesterone and estrogen go down, it's affecting all these other areas. Okay. And then of course, increased weight. That is the number one thing people told me. I reached out to every single one of you to register you for this. And everybody, almost everybody, it was the majority, 95% of people said weight is an issue, belly fat. It came on quickly, suddenly can't get rid of it. And it's frustrating. And some people are working out, some people are not. And so it's all just the same. So we're going to really talk about that a lot. So why the weight gain? I want you to understand the weight gain because it is unique and it's not simply eat less, exercise more, run more, do more, work harder because of our hormones. Okay. In the early phases, because of estrogen dominance, so progesterone levels fall in this cycle. Progesterone falls and then they're both falling. Progesterone falls first more, and you can see, so progesterone is down here and estrogen is high in comparison here. Anyways, I'm getting a bit too technical, which I don't want to. Where did I go? So the point is that when you're estrogen dominant like that, because of those natural downgrades and then shifts in comparison of the estrogen to the progesterone, your body stores fat in your hips and your thighs first. And then in later stages, it deposits it in your belly. Okay, that's just what the hormones do. And again, it packs it around your midsection, trying to I don't know exactly why, but that is just how it works. Okay. Remember that estrogen is produced in your ovaries. We're going to remember I said that it's produced in your ovaries, but it's also produced in your adrenal glands and your fat cells. And that estrogen does a whole lot of other things in your body aside from just causing the egg to release. So, your body always wants homeostasis. Your body wants balance. And when your body is out of balance, your body will shift around hormones in other ways to get your body back into balance. That's called homeostasis. It's like a principle of all physiology. Homeostasis, the body wants it, right? And so when the body senses the decrease in ovarian estrogen production, in perimenopause, it starts to pack on fat cells to keep, because fat cells also produce estrogen. So the ovaries aren't producing the estrogen and the body goes, whoa, we need more estrogen. So the body packs on fat cells around your thighs and your buttocks to produce more estrogen to keep your balance, your body in that homeostatic balance. The fat first goes to your hips and thighs and buttocks, and then to your midsection. And that's where women get that menopause. It's due to these changes, okay? And these changes are also, they're just our hormonal changes. And there is lots that we can do, and we'll talk about that. But if you don't know what to do, then this is what happens. It happens to like all women, right? And almost everyone's telling me that. So, the body packs on more fat cells to produce more estrogen to keep everything balanced. Fascinating. The body doesn't realize that you don't want fat on your thighs and your midsection. It doesn't care. It wants estrogen to keep your body in balance. Super fascinating and super annoying. And this is why you see this in women. It is classic in perimenopausal and then menopausal women. Your FNP doctor thinks it needs a second uterus, and that's why it's upper belly. Yeah, it's like it's trying to protect your reproductive system, so it puts it around it, and it's storing energy and producing estrogen. That's just what your body wants, okay? And there is a lot we can do, so stay with me here. But the perimenopausal hormonal changes cause a metabolic shift in the way your fat is stored. And the distribution of that storage is unique to women going through these hormonal changes. This is why you change nothing in your nutrition and your workouts, but everything feels like it's changing, because everything is changing. Your hormones are changing, which affects everything in your body. There's so much more to your health than just your diet and exercise, okay? The main reason your body stores fat in menopause is because of the hormonal shifts and because of the increased insulin resistance that results from the drop in hormones. And we're going to talk about that, because your body is already storing it. And then because of other changes, your body becomes insulin resistant, which I'll explain that in a moment. And then it continues to pack on more fat in your midsection to combat that insulin resistance. And oh, I get so excited here. Hold on. Okay, we'll go back to insulin resistance in a second, but stay with me. Another change that happens with this drop in estrogen and progesterone and the chaos of perimenopause and menopause, because remember, menopause, progesterone and estrogen dip. So this applies to you guys too. And you would have gone through some of this, but sarcopenia happens. This is how estrogen and progesterone affect your muscle tissue. As women, because of these changes, we are losing muscle mass. There's estrogen receptors in your musculoskeletal tissues, including muscle, bone, ligaments, and tendons. So you see changes in all of those things. And estrogen is also known to regulate metabolism, okay? So as estrogen goes down, you have decreased neuromuscular stimulation. You lose power and you lose speed. So those of you who are following me from the fitness community, you get older, women tell me all the time, I can run forever, but I can't run fast. It's easier to run longer, it's harder to go hard. And so then we gravitate to the long, slow, to the more steady state cardio, because it's easier. And that's great, except we're losing muscle that way. We'll talk more about that. But You also decrease the number of muscle fibers. You lose muscle mass, okay? You lose strength, you lose health and integrity of the bone, tendons, and ligaments. Your type 2 muscle fibers are the first to go. Those are your speed and your power. And you're losing actually 3% of your muscle mass per decade after the age of 35, simply because of these shifts in hormones, okay? Your tendons and ligaments get stiffer. So when you're losing muscle, muscle's metabolically very active. So if you're losing muscle because of the decrease in estrogen, your body is not as metabolically fit anymore. Your metabolism then goes down. Okay, so people say, getting older, my metabolism's going down, I'm storing more fat, and it's because of your hormones are changing and you're losing muscle. Slow, steady cardio doesn't build muscle. It doesn't trigger that neuromuscular stimulation. It doesn't trigger those type 2 muscle fibers to go. And so all the cardio in the world won't build muscle or make up for this. Okay, so we'll talk about that later, but it's important to understand all of that. Okay, so you find yourself slowing down and getting injured more because your tendons and ligaments are stiffer. You have a decreased training response and decreased recovery from activity. It takes you longer to recover. You have increased delayed onset muscle soreness. You need more rest days, but you don't take them because everyone's telling you to go, go, go. You're doing your exercise that used to work and it's not working anymore, and everyone's telling you to do more, so you do more exercise and you eat less, which only contributes to more muscle loss and more metabolic degradation. Okay, increased risk of osteoporosis, decreased metabolism, and a loss of muscle also contributes to impaired insulin sensitivity, and it's what leads to we're not as carb tolerant. Again, we'll come back to that. Stay with me. But muscle is important for more than just exercise. It's important for how your body processes sugars and carbohydrates. Okay, it creates a downgrade in metabolism. And those fat cells that it's packing on, those are not metabolically active. Okay, so insulin resistance. What the heck is that, Carrie? This is a sciencey kind of thing, but it's really important to start to understand. Insulin is a storage hormone so it's a hormone too, and it's used to keep your blood sugar levels stable. Remember, homeostasis. Your body wants your blood to be have a balanced level of sugar in it. Okay, so what happens is you eat food, it gets broken down into calories, which is energy for your cells and your muscles, and it gets passed into the bloodstream. So you eat it, you digest it, it goes into your bloodstream as calories, as energy, as sugar, to be shuttled off to the cells and used for energy, right? That's how, like, your food creates you. Your food is what feeds like the cells of your skin and makes your hair grow and your nails and your heartbeat and your lungs and your brain. It's what makes it function. Your muscles, to do what they need to do, your body needs the energy from the food that you eat, okay? So as that energy comes into your blood, your pancreas releases insulin to facilitate the transport of those blood sugars, that energy to go from the blood to the cell to feed the cells what they need, but also to keep your blood balanced, okay? And so it shuttles it off to where it needs. And after your body has used the energy that it needs, the leftover glucose, sugar in your blood, is stored in little bundles called glycogen in your liver and muscles. So you eat, your body fills up uses insulin, it knocks on the cells and says, come on in. Yes, I need some energy. Yes, I need some energy. Yes, I need some energy. Then everyone's done. Your cells don't need any more energy, and your cell stores the rest of it into your muscle and your liver. So remember, you're decreasing muscle, so there's less place for you to store that extra sugar. Okay, so interesting. So right there already, there's a little bit of a problem, which is that's where metabolism goes down, because you don't have as much muscle. Okay. And so muscle declines, there's less storage space, and that extra that the muscle used to take gets stored in the fat cells. Okay, it's like the fat cells become the dumping ground for all extra. Okay, in perimenopause, your body's becoming more and more intolerant to high blood sugars. You can't process them as well. Carbohydrates, you can't process them as well. That doesn't mean no carbs. Hear me out, keep following me. When you eat a lot of sugary foods, though, fast foods, cookies, cakes, all that kind of stuff, Our bodies could use it when we were younger. We processed it. As we get older and that muscle declines, we don't process it as well. And our body wants to store fat in our midsection. So that's what our body does. And that puts you at risk of insulin resistance when you've got a high sugary diet that you could tolerate when you were younger. And as we get older, we just can't tolerate it. So this is what insulin resistance is. So you eat the food, releases the insulin, and your cells, it's like the insulin is knocking on your door. Can I come in? Can I come in? And it says yes. It's been saying yes for decades. You've been taking in extra. And then the cells are like, no, I'm not doing this for you anymore. Go find something better to do. And so the cells stop responding. And then you've got these high levels of blood sugars, which is what leads to diabetes and cardiovascular disease. And so this insulin resistance, you are more at risk for it as a perimenopausal and menopausal woman. It's just it's a natural phase of what happens, which is why your nutrition becomes more important now than it's ever been. And it doesn't mean no carbs. It doesn't mean you have to cut out all sugar. It means you have to build muscle, and it means we have to get our nutrition right, which we'll talk about, okay? But know that insulin resistance is, and eating a lot of sugary foods, even eating too much, which again, I don't tend, people do, I guess, eat too much, but my people are generally under eating the good stuff and then binging on this stuff. And your body can't tolerate it. Used to be able to tolerate it, can't tolerate it anymore. Storing it in your midsection, and your cells are becoming insulin resistant, blood sugars are staying high, putting you at risk of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. This is where I see a lot of metabolic damage in people who exercise a lot because of this. Okay, they're not doing the right exercise to build the muscle, so they're still losing that metabolism, and losing more muscle, and training to build muscle increases your insulin sensitivity, and it increases your carb tolerance. So you can handle more carbs and more sugar when you have more muscle. Okay, when you don't, and you're not training to build it, you don't have that sensitivity, and this becomes a real problem. Okay. Also, yeah, we're not as active as we get older, right? We're sitting a lot more, and your cells don't need as much energy, right? So what you used to eat, now you've decreased your muscle, and you're sitting around a whole lot more than when you used to like chase the kids around all the time, and your body doesn't need as much energy. So you might be eating the same, but your body then wants to store it back in your fat cells. Okay. You used to be in your 20s, right? In early 30s, probably, maybe later 30s, you used to be a sports car, a high-powered performance sports car. Your body was functioning quickly, it was taking food, it was using it, it was processing, it was no problem going 170 miles an hour. But as we hit perimenopause and menopause, we're more like a vintage sports car, right? But you're still fueling to be a high-end sports car. So we need to make some changes in our nutrition, because this is really important as we get older, so we don't end up with that metabolic damage. And this is when your body seems to be suddenly changing, even though you're doing nothing different. But your body's completely different, like we said. This is when women tend to increase the cardio, do more, double up on those workouts, and decrease your calories, cut carbs, and try fasting to lose the weight. But that just makes everything worse, because you're increasing stress on your body. You're increasing cortisol, which is another hormone, which means you're burning through more muscle. When you're training fasted and then under eating, your body is going to be pulling energy, not from your fat cells. That's for storage for later. And it's hard to utilize that stored fat. It's pulling it from your muscles. So then what I see is women doing more exercise and eating less, and then you're losing even more muscle. Your metabolism is going down even more, and then your cortisol is a massive problem. And when cortisol, that's your stress hormone, when that thing's high all the time, your body stores more fat in the midsection. Body loves to store fat in the midsection. And so we've got to so cortisol is something that you do have control over, unlike estrogen and progesterone, okay? So crazy stuff. So what the heck are you supposed to do? The other thing I want to mention about that midsection fat storage, and why I'm going to talk about it a lot, is it tends to put on visceral fat as well. So fat inside around your internal organs. And that's the really metabolically dangerous fat. That's what leads to all the metabolic disorders and cardiovascular disease and strokes and just more risk of that kind of stuff. So it is something that's important. And I never like to fear people into making health changes, but I want you to understand the impacts of this, okay? So that you can do the things I'm going to teach you to change this, so that you can, take control of what you can control and get this under control, because you can, all right? Because again, exercising more, doing the wrong exercise, and eating less and cutting out all the things is not the answer, and it's making everything worse, okay? I'll definitely be researching and pausing as I go. It is a lot of information. I told you it's deep. I nerded out, but stay with me. I need you to understand though this stuff, okay? Because if you don't, learning brings in your frontal cortex, you guys. This is the part of your brain that thinks critically, that analyzes, that makes decisions. And when you're going to take action, we've got to work on our thoughts and bring this in, because I can't get people to focus on doing the work. People want to take action. Everyone wants to just jump in and do the work and take action. But then you end up just going back to old habits, old diets, old binging and restricting, because you haven't changed your brain and changed your thoughts. And I really just think that learning is really powerful and important that way, so that you can reason through and critically think what's going on and look to what's going on out there in the research and make the best decisions for you and help you break those old bad habits, because they are deep. That's a lot of the work we do in my Fitter, Leaner, Stronger program, is help you guys stay focused, stay conscious, rewire your brain, because it's been wired to diet. And it's not helping us in perimenopause, okay? Exercise and eat. Okay, so we go back. So we went to all those changes, and then we say, so what the heck are we supposed to do about this, Carrie? Because this all sounds terrible. And so we have to shift the focus from weight loss to exercising and eating to build lean muscle, to balance your blood sugars, to increase your insulin sensitivity, to increase your metabolism, and to not support fat storage. You want to become a fat burner, okay? You can't change estrogen and progesterone. They are going to do what they're going to do as those ovaries shut down, but you can change how you approach exercise, nutrition, lifestyle habits, and stressors and sleep and all these other things to support the blood sugar balance, to support the muscle building, to support metabolism and fat burning. And that's what we want to do. And most people get caught up in looking for weight loss solutions. And weight loss solutions tell you exercise more and eat less. That doesn't work, because we want to increase metabolism. Increasing metabolism is a different plan than losing weight. And what most women realize, like, they think they want weight loss, but you really want fat burning. You want to lose fat and build muscle and increase your metabolism, because that's going to give you the healthy body composition changes, an increase in energy. It's going to get rid of your cravings and make you just feel better overall and get you fit, strong, lean, healthy for life. Okay. And you can totally do that in your 40s and 50s and 60s. Okay. That's what I teach you in my Fitter, Leaner, Stronger method. We're going to get into it right away. So a few other shifts that are interesting that happen in your body is, the first one's not interesting, but when you're in these metabolic shifts with your hormones and insulin sensitivity and the blood sugar issues, you become weight loss resistant, okay? Which is why, like, you exercise more and eat less and it doesn't work. That's weight loss resistance. Your body is just not processing what you're eating, okay? You have decreased tolerance. So this is interesting. We talked a bit about this, but as you get older into this phase, your body has less tolerance to stress and inflammation. And you're going to notice this. Like I said, I used to be able to multitask like nobody's business. I used to be able to stay up super late and get away with sleeping 4 or 5 hours. I can't do that anymore. If I don't sleep for 7 hours, I feel like a truck hit me. I look like a truck hit me. I can feel everything. I can't tolerate wine anymore. I can't tolerate sugar anymore. I can't, like, there's things shift because your body changes, right? Like I said, in your 20s, it could handle it all. In this phase, it can't anymore. And so you're less tolerant to stress and inflammation, like life stress, food stress, exercise stress, alcohol, caffeine, sugar, processed foods. you're going to see changes in all of those. And if we just continue to do what we've always done with those foods, and and that's why people say, like, I haven't changed anything and everything's changed. It's because, yeah, your physiology has changed, but your habits, your daily routines haven't changed. And we got to work on changing those to work with your physiology as it's changing. Okay. You have a decreased carb tolerance, which I talked about. Your body just doesn't process carbs the way it used to because of the loss of muscle and the insulin like the insulin resistance and stuff, and the decreased tolerance to stress and inflammation. And again, carbs are not the devil. You need carbs. Women need more carbs than men do for so many reasons. You need carbs to build muscle and burn fat, but we've got to be more careful with our carbs. I'll talk about a few hacks, but like our bodies are less sensitive to carbs at night than they are in the morning. What I see women doing is skipping breakfast and then binge eating on carbs at night, which is why I'm not into fasting. I'm like, why don't you just eat a normal breakfast? Your body's going to process those carbs. You've got a lot of energy to expend all day long. And then you're not hungry and binging at night when your body can't tolerate the carbs or the sugar. So you get rid of the nighttime eating and just eat breakfast. We'll talk about that in a moment, but this carb tolerance thing is a big deal. You have decreased temperature regulation as estrogen affects the endothelial lining in your vessels. You get hot faster and you sweat a lot more. You also have a decreased thirst sensation, especially when you're exercising. So that increases your risk of dehydration. So you're not drinking as much, right? But that also affects that sweating, right? Your body can't cool itself. So staying hydrated, even if you're not thirsty, is going to help you with night sweats. Okay. So there's just a random fact there, but those are just some interesting things to note, especially water is so important for so many things, for muscle, for performance, for all that stuff. You're not feeling thirsty. And so you're going to just be dehydrated, which is going to affect every system in your body, make those night sweats, those hot flashes worse. So stay hydrated. Okay. So the hormonal shifts in perimenopause cause a metabolic shift in the way your fat is distributed. The main reason your body stores fat in menopause is because it becomes insulin resistant, that drop in your sex hormones. It messes with your overall metabolic function. And every time you hop on another fad restrictive diet and you lose scale weight, but you don't lose midsection weight, and then you gain it all back plus some, you have further decreased stress, you further increased inflammation, and you further decreased metabolic function, making every similar attempt harder and harder the older you get. So those of you who have yo-yo dieted and tried all the fads, we got work to do. We got to rebalance your body and get your metabolism roaring again, okay? There is so much you can do once you understand all of this. And there's so much you can detox diet culture when you understand all this. Pursuing simple weight loss strategies aren't the answer. Exercising more and eating less aren't the answer. Your body is not as simple as a bank account. It's not calories in, calories out, no matter what bro trainer Ryan on the internet is telling you, ladies. You're just eating too much. Just calories in, calories out. It's like, dude, it's not. Like, dude, no, that's not how this works. Your body is a complex chemistry lab. Do not forget that. So what do you do? We're going to get into that. So we're going to start with medical management. I am not going to address medications, but I do think you need to check with your doctor. Okay. Get tested, check your levels, see what they recommend. Talk to your doctor about any medications recommended for your hormonal support, hormone replacement, or severe depression and anxiety. This is no joke. Exercise alone, food alone, working with me alone is not enough with serious stuff, and you must consult with your doctor. Safety and life first. I know women who are really struggling, and I will never say to not take those medications. So make sure you check with your doctor, you guys, and see what they recommend. I am not a doctor. I focus on the lifestyle habits, not the medication. So make sure that you work with your doctor along with what I do, okay? There is a time and a place for medications. They will jump to medications first and give you that as the only option. So keep that in mind. there is a lot that you can do. Even I think under what a lot of people say is that, Carrie, once I understood this, I didn't beat myself up as much. And even that alone can help. But when you have severe depression, anxiety, you need help. Okay, so please make sure you check with your doctor, but realize that there is a lot that we can do. Adaptogens are something that I don't know a ton about, but I want to introduce you to them so you can go and do your own research. And we do have a resource in my program, but I try not to do too much into supplements. I leave that for your functional team. But adaptogens, I've heard, are really powerful. They're plants that increase your body's resistance to stress by targeting this area in your brain. It's a neuroendocrine system that controls your reaction to stress and regulates various body functions such as digestion, mood, temperature control, and immunity. And I've heard women trying adaptogens and having some really great results. They don't happen right away because they are herbs. They work with your system, and it takes some time, but it's an interesting thing to check out for you guys, your holistic ladies for sure. But again, talk to your doctors first before you try any supplements to see how they react with any medications that you're on and that you do medications. I'm very much about working with your medical team, okay, and making sure safety comes first. These can really just help with the fluctuations that you're feeling in. They help with hot flashes, they help with sleeping. I've heard they help a lot with depression and anxiety symptoms. So it's just something powerful to check out. There's really fantastic solid research on these, such as ashwagandha, mushrooms, maca. Talk to your doctor, talk to your naturopath, talk to your pharmacist. Pharmacists generally know or can do the research quickly to find out what you need to know. These don't make much money because they're natural, so they're not pushed by big pharma. But I have heard great things from women who are trying and using adaptogens. Okay, and if we can sometimes like take that anxiety down a bit, take that depression down a bit, get that temperature under control, get you feeling a little better with something natural like this, then you can work out. Then you can like have the energy to prep the food that you need to feed your body. Because when you're really struggling with the basics because of those hormonal shifts that we can't change, it just will open up so much for you. So if you're on the cusp of using, and there's nothing wrong with hormone therapy, right, as well. So talk to your docs. But if you're on the cusp of starting hormone therapy, hormone replacement therapy, try some dietary changes and maybe try adding in some adaptogens. If it doesn't help and the symptoms are still there, then talk to your doc and work with him about the hormone replacement therapy. Okay. I've seen people who were on, birth control or hormone therapy, and they tried some adaptogens and they were able to kind of balance things out for themselves. So you need to do that research yourself. I'm not recommending those. I'm recommending you work with your doctor and your medical team on doing the research on those for you. But wanted to introduce you to that because I think it's cool. So your body is complex. There's a lot going on. Aside from medications and supplements, let's now focus on what you can do to support your body through this phase and beyond. So many women are working. So many women are working and fighting against their body instead of working with their body. And again, that's what I see. Hustle, grind, go, push culture. And what we need to do is like meet our bodies where they're at now and focus on what we can do. Okay, so that brings me to topic 5, the don'ts of perimenopause before we dive into the do's. So don't try to figure it out alone on social media where trainer on the internet, dude, Mike is telling you, you're just not working out hard enough. You're just eating too much. Okay, don't listen to that. Remember, your body, there's an airplane on top of me. Your body is a complex chemistry lab. So don't try to figure it out alone using Instagram. Don't randomly slash your calories because you feel really frustrated and angry at your body and go on a random diet like keto, low carb, juice cleanses, or like juice detoxes. Juice detoxes really just increase sugar in your body because there's no protein or fat, and that just makes the blood sugar and insulin resistance problems worse. Going to make you feel terrible. You're going to lose more muscle. You're going to feel terrible. Keto women, you might get some results at first, but it's causing a lot of long-term damage to hormones and thyroid. Women need carbohydrates. That's just the reality. We don't have to eat all the carbohydrates, and carbohydrates get a bad rap because carbohydrates are like sugars and cookies and all that stuff. Yeah, of course we don't want to deal with that, but we're also talking about grains and fruits and vegetables, and your body needs that stuff. We need to learn how to eat carbs in the right balance at the right times and the right combination for the right reasons for your body, which I'll teach you right away. And intermittent fasting is the other one as well. There's a time and place for intermittent fasting, and it is a whole workshop on its own, intermittent fasting, but what most women are using it for is a way to lose weight and reduce calories. And so they're training fasted, their body doesn't have any energy, which means it pulls energy from your muscle. So instead of using your workouts to build muscle, you're working out hard, suboptimal performance levels and pulling from muscle. So you're actually catabolic during your workout instead of setting your body up. And catabolic means you're breaking down muscle. We don't want that. Fasting done incorrectly is also causing more stress and inflammation on your body, which raises cortisol, which ends up causing your body to push all energy and store everything as fat again, even though you're barely eating anything. Okay. Intermittent fasting is a really neat little wellness way to wrap up disordered eating. I see people working out hard, fasted, then having no time to eat all day. And then what happens is you go and you binge on all the junk food at night or the next day, and women are underfed. That is a stressful state that creates so much internal inflammation in your body. Intermittent fasting does work. It works better in menopause than it does in perimenopause, but it must be done under the proper guidance. You can't just randomly do it. I've seen so much damage from it. Even if short-term it works, long-term, we're talking long-term health. Your body needs food, okay? You got to fuel yourself to work out hard so that you can build muscle. You don't build muscle without food, okay? Can't build muscle in a calorie deficit. Don't obsess over weight loss. Remember, I said most people think they want weight loss. They're frustrated with their body and the weight gain, except weight loss strategies just tell you to cut, restrict, and exercise more, which creates more stress and inflammation that your perimenopausal body cannot handle. So just packs on more fat in your midsection. And again, every time you go on these restrictive weight loss diets and you lose some weight on the scale, but not in your midsection, and then you gain it back, you're creating more metabolic damage. You want to think fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier, metabolic power-less. You want to ramp all that up, okay? And that's a different way to think. It's a different way to eat, and it's a different way to train and exist in this world, okay? You don't want to chase hormone balance because it doesn't exist. Your hormones are changing. You want to be working with your body and not against it, okay? You don't want to be beating yourself up in perimenopause. Your body is changing. We just need to learn about it. We need to be gentle with ourselves. And I often think about puberty. Like, does your 18-year-old, did you ever get mad at your body because it was changing in puberty? Like, especially if you look back, you're like, that just is a natural change that happens. Like, you ever, like, if you're 14, like, I wish I had my 7-year-old body back again. I want my 7-year-old body back again. It's like, no, that's ridiculous. That's not how that works. This is the same. So many women want their 20-year-old body back. They're living in the past of their 20-year-old body. And it's like, that body's gone. That phase of life is gone. You need to meet yourself in your now body and work on this body and nourishing and taking care of this body in this phase of life. Okay. So don't beat yourself up and don't wish for your old body. Take care of the body that you have now. Don't blame your body or be angry at it. These are normal changes that we all go through. Being angry at your body, you will never change it. You will never really truly build the healthy, strong body you want. And fighting with your body day in and day out is a miserable way to live. You and your body are one, and you have to work together. You have to have a mutually respectful relationship with one another. Okay. You don't want to hustle, grind, and push your way through menopause with force. I see this. just going to go harder. I'm just going to go faster. I'm just going to go longer. I'm just going to eat less. I'm just going to restrict. I'm just going to cut. I'm just going to tough it out. It doesn't work. We need to be much more kind to our bodies through this phase. Don't just think less food, more exercise. Don't join a program designed by a 20-year-old dude who tells you to restrict calories and weighs you every day, because that's so destructive physically and emotionally. Don't continue to sign up for intense challenges and rigid food restriction challenges, because again, we don't want a 30-day body. Those don't exist. Those don't work. We want to think long-term health, long-term healthy habits. We want to think working with our female physiology, and it's going to take time. Okay, 30 days don't work. And every time we do those aggressive things, we make our metabolic health worse. And don't delay taking care of your body. I'll tell you, it gets harder and harder every year. I always think back to my days in healthcare, and people just like desperate for health, desperate to get out of the hospital. So much of that stuff was lifestyle, chronic disease. And your 40s, I find your 40s and 50s are a really good time to take care of yourself, to focus on yourself. Sorry, there's flies all over me. Not flies, little bugs. It's a really good time because, you know, the kids are getting bigger, the career is like more settled, and you have like a bit more focus. You're a bit more mature. You don't have the babies anymore. And it's a critical time because, as I said, as the years go by and the decades go by, it gets harder and harder to reverse that metabolic damage. So don't delay taking care of yourself. So that brings us to the last topic, which is, what do you do now that you understand your body and what's going on? I'm going to teach you guys my Fitter, Leaner, Stronger in Midlife method. This is my program, but I'm going to teach you the basics of what I teach my clients in this program. Okay. So the core of this program and these changes I want for you is you must stop fat storage. You must increase metabolism, and you must work with your body to optimize total body metabolic function. You must focus on how to get fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier for long-term health. Not for weight loss and not in the short term, for the long term. Results take longer doing what I teach, but they last. You don't have this. You have it's not a perfect linear progress. There are ups and downs, because there always are, but the women who train with me, when they change, they change. They don't go back to what they used to do if they stay with what I teach, because I teach women to work with their physiology, but also to change their habits and change their brain. Do some really deep work, because that's required. I've worked with thousands of women. I know there's some deep stuff in there. Okay. So you want to focus on what you can do, and you want to take care of your now body. Okay. The principles, my guiding Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife method principles are, you can't ignore this. You must work with your body, not against it. You must nourish your body, not restrict it. You must listen to your body and not ignore it. You must respect your body and not hate it. Okay. And the method, it's quite simply, I can help you learn how to work with your body and your hormone shifts in midlife so that you can burn the midsection weight, restore your energy, build the fitter, leaner, stronger body you want, and lose the weight that's holding you back from being energized, confident, and comfortable in your body. Okay. And we have 6 pillars that are crucial for midlife, busy, stressed, fitness-minded women who are ready to take back their health. So the 6 pillars of my method are: we got to increase your metabolism. We got to balance your blood sugars. You got to optimize insulin function and become a pro-fat burner. You have to release stress inflammation. You have to restore emotional and nervous system regulation. You have to reconnect with your now body and reclaim your inner goddess confidence. Notice my 6 pillars are not exercise more, eat less. Nowhere in there. Okay. Powerful shifts, which is why my program gets results. Okay, so let's go through these. Strategy 1, increase metabolism. Remember, muscle's going down. Building muscle is the #1 way to increase your metabolism. So you've got to get your exercise right. We're losing estrogen, so your body is designed and set up hormonally to lose it, but there's other ways to build muscle besides just estrogen. So you don't have estrogen to rely on to help you build muscle anymore. So you've got to rely on other things, lifting heavy and HIIT training. Those are the 2 ways to build muscle. Those are the most effective workouts for this perimenopausal period. Okay, so you must be strategic and intentional with your workouts. Strength training plus HIIT, plyometric training, polarizing your training. That's going to help you build lean muscle. It's going to stimulate neuromuscular connections so you don't lose those muscle fibers. Remember, I told you we lose those muscle fibers. And so we don't want to. We got to stimulate them. All the cardio in the world will not build lean muscle. And what midlife women get stuck in is like, I can do slow, steady state, moderate intensity cardio for hours. So that's what you'd gravitate to, but you're not getting the changes you want in your body composition because it doesn't build muscle. In fact, if you're doing that and you're not nourishing properly, you're losing even more muscle and storing even more fat. That moderate level intensity for 60 to 2 to 4 hours is a stress on your body. It increases cortisol, and you tend to you get more hungry for carbs because it relies on different energy systems and it affects your hormones differently than strength does. And you tend to crave more carbs and you just continue to store more midsection fat. And so the best workouts for midlife to get fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier, because remember that visceral fat is a health problem, is strength training plus HIIT. Getting hot and sweaty, okay? HIIT, there's a lot of different ways to describe HIIT. We are not talking about 60-minute HIIT sessions. That's too long. You're not working hard enough. We want to polarize your training. Go hard, rest and recover. Go hard, rest and recover. My runners do burst training. Run hard for a minute, come back. Do hills, do 20-second sprints. You're not a runner, you're going to do that on an elliptical. There's all kinds of ways to incorporate HIIT and strength training. Lots of walking. So muscle helps it'll help increase metabolism. It also helps increase carb tolerance. So you'll process carbs better. You'll be able to tolerate carbs better. It'll help with that insulin resistance piece to have more muscle, because remember, that's where we store that extra energy. So you have more area to store that in. When you're training to build muscle and pushing hard, you also open up these GLUT4 receptors on your muscle that makes your body utilize blood glucose even more. So you increase, it really helps with that insulin sensitivity, not insulin sensitivity, it helps you process those blood sugars even better. Okay, so building lean muscle, it's going to increase your metabolism because muscle is metabolically very active. You want more muscle, right? And then lots of walking, because like I said, we sit around all day. And another way to increase carb tolerance and really facilitate the utilization of the food you eat is to do more walking in your day. Walk after your meals. That's going to help your body with that insulin sensitivity. It's going to help your insulin do its job to pull that energy into the cells and not store it as fat. We are so sedentary. Okay, more movement doesn't mean more long runs. It means like more just low intensity walking. And then you want to hit those strength training workouts hard 2 to 4 days a week, 5 days a week. But women especially need strength training. I am like a huge pusher of strength training. Okay. And you want to practice progressive overload. You want to meet your body where it's at. If you're not exercising, you're not going to go and start lifting your body weight in like picking up heavy weights and going, but you're going to choose a program that's going to meet you where you're at. That might mean you start with 2 days a week. That might mean you start with body weight sessions. I have all those programs. I've got loads of different strength training programs to meet all fitness levels in the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife method. As a physical therapist, I've built them all. There's transitions, and we focus on progressive overload, which means you push harder. You don't need a billion different workouts. You need some really structured, strategic, good workouts, and then you need to push them harder. Okay, that's how I do it. It works. You need to increase metabolism. You need proper pre, intra, and post fueling of those workouts to facilitate the intensity of your workout and to maximize recovery of muscle synthesis. Remember, I said earlier, if you're going into those workouts under fueled, your body's pulling from muscle for energy and you're not able to push the workout. If you're going in under fueled, you can't push those workouts hard. People always tell me, Carrie, feels so good training fast. And I'm like, you might feel good, but wait till you fuel properly. You're going to feel like a beast and you're going to really push. You're going to really lift heavier, which is what we want because we really want to recruit those muscles. So pre and then post is really important as well. Our bodies as women need carbs more than dudes do. We utilize carbs better around our workouts. That's what's going to give us quick energy, allow us to push and then recover. If we don't recover within that 30 to 45 minutes after our workout, we're not getting the max benefit from the workout, and we end up like flat all day, and then we end up in this like low energy availability state, which is just a stressful inflammatory state for your body, which again, what does that trigger? High cortisol and midsection fat storage. So your fueling strategies around your workouts are really important. And that doesn't mean huge meals. That means just getting it right. Okay. Long, slow cardio and moderate intensity exercise isn't helping you build that lean muscle you need to increase metabolism and improve insulin sensitivity and carb tolerance. Okay. We talked about that. If you're an endurance athlete who loves that long endurance, you have to just add in some strength training. You have to reprioritize your goals, look at your goals, see what's going on. Sometimes I tell people we need to pull you back for a little while. We need to take minimum 3 to 6 months to get your metabolic health under control. Then we'll ramp you back up again. Or, we have to just increase, you need more rest days. More is not better in perimenopause to build that muscle and to improve that metabolic health. Your body needs more rest, tame that inflammation in between. So for the endurance athletes, you might just need to take more rest days, pull back the mileage. You don't need as much mileage as you think you do. And when you're running your slow runs, run them very slow. You don't want to be in that moderate intensity where you're going too fast to be slow and low intensity, but not fast enough to build a muscle so that you can balance that cortisol out. So do the slow workouts slow, have more rest days, and then push some plyometric HIIT style and strength training workouts in there. Okay, can help you guys, some of you with that as well. Although I don't tend to work with the really high end endurance athletes. There's a lot. It's hard because I know that there's a love of that, but that's another conversation. If that's you, you can reach out to me and we can chat. But we want to increase metabolism, assess your current workout strategy. What are you guys doing for workouts out there right now? Is it helping you to build lean muscle, based on what I just taught you? Or is it increasing stress, or is it something in between? And I know that exercise is stress relief for a lot of people. I get that. It's mental clarity. It's, exercise isn't simply about changing your body, but in perimenopause, and when you look at exercise physiology from a real science-based perspective, there are different types of exercise do different things. They trigger different energy pathways and metabolic systems. And if you want to increase your metabolism, you got to be training hard to build muscle 2 to 4 days a week. Okay. And then to do in this section is, do you need a program? Do you need some help and work with this? I got that for you. Okay. Strategy number 2 is you got to balance your blood sugars. Under fueling and restricting leads to cravings, intense hunger, binge eating. The more you restrict things, this is why fasting, it's all the rage. And I get it, and I've studied it, and I'm not convinced, because what I see from my clinical practice with thousands of women is intermittent fasting is used as a weight loss strategy incorrectly, and it's a nice way for people to hide behind disordered eating and not get the help they need with that, and they end up being not having enough energy in their system, being in this low energy availability state, which increases inflammation, which just increases fat storage anyways. It puts stress on your thyroid, which leads to all kinds of thyroid and metabolism problems. And they binge eat at night when no one's looking. That's you. Like, I understand. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying you can just eat. Like, there's nothing wrong with breakfast when you know how to eat properly, the way I teach you. I eat breakfast every damn day. I eat a huge breakfast every damn day. But I also have my workouts dialed in and the rest of my nutrition dialed in. Okay. 50% of recreational athletes are in a low energy availability state, which is what we just talked about. That's when your body does not have enough energy. And it starts to break down tissue, muscle, and then heart, and then it stores that as fat, stores extra as fat later for insulation. Okay. It's dangerous to be in a low energy availability state. This is where younger girls lose their periods. They're not eating enough. I would say disordered eating is rampant, I think now more than ever, because of the power of diet culture and social media and fad diets just hitting you from everywhere. We used to just see them in magazines at the grocery store, but now it's like bombarding us and ads are coming at us and women aren't eating enough. And they're eating more, like, we end up eating more processed foods and junk foods and binging on them, and we're not eating enough of the good stuff. We're overfed and undernourished, and we got to get you nourishing. So you want to focus on nourishing and fueling your body, not dieting and restricting. That's a mindset shift. I want you guys to like write that down in your journal. Nourish and fuel. Don't diet and restrict. Okay. You want to increase your metabolism. You need food. Many women come to me under eating for decades and then trying these random diets, and your metabolism has downgraded, which is why you end up with poor skin, bloating, constipation. Like this is also another reason for the same symptoms of perimenopause, these low metabolism, a downgraded metabolism. Your body is not even getting enough food to fuel the basic metabolic functions. Okay. So we want to be eating enough. We want to be focusing on nourishing and fueling. Food is fuel. We want to be eating with mindfulness. When you're eating, will this nourish and fuel me? Women need carbs. We need carbs. We need carbs more than men do. Our brains need them. You guys are high performance professional women. You're thinking, you're multitasking, you're doing, your body, your brain takes up a lot of energy. What does it use for energy? Carbs. It only uses carbs for energy. Okay. So we need carbs. You need carbs to build muscle. You need carbs to burn fat. We need the right carbs in the right balance for the right reasons at the right times, right? Like I said, around workouts and in the morning, your body is more able to process those carbs, not so much at night. Your body doesn't love processing carbs at night. Okay. And it matters the type of carbs that we eat. We are more sensitive to stress and inflammation. So those cookies, those cakes, those processed sugary stuff, our bodies don't like them. That increases blood sugars, right? This causes spikes in insulin and can contribute to insulin resistance and fat storage. Okay, so we teach a balanced plate where we eat slow, low carbs paired with healthy fats and lean proteins to balance your blood sugars. That's why we do that, to nourish your body and balance your blood sugars. Eating like this keeps you full longer. Eating in this balance of slow, low carbs paired with healthy fats and lean proteins on your plate at one time. Eating protein first actually helps you to balance your blood sugars even more. So if you're out, you don't have an appetizer, focus on a protein-based appetizer. It'll help you balance blood sugars. It will keep you full longer, and it will help increase energy, and it will get rid of cravings. Okay. It'll help reduce cravings for you. This is key. We teach eating enough, 3 meals per day, snacks if you're hungry, in between, only if you're hungry. If you can eat breakfast and stay full till lunch, awesome. If you're snacking all the time, that is a sign that you're a sugar burner. Okay. If you are always constantly hungry, you're probably snacking on carbs, high sugar carbs, and your body is just taking that sugar, increasing insulin, pumping it into fat cells, and then it's gone again. So you keep getting these high blood sugar spikes and these low, and then you get cravings again, and you do this all day. You end up just like craving sugar and storing fat all day. You want to be like this. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, And I tune in if I'm hungry in between. If I'm hungry in between, I'll have a snack. And that varies day to day. This is why nutrition is hard for people, because we have to learn and listen to our body, which is one of my principles. Listen to your body. I can't tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat. You got to tune into your body. I used to be the grazer when I had little kids. I was constantly grazing on leftover bits and bites and crackers and cookies and low-fat snack packs, which were just carbs. And I was hungry all the time. And I was storing fat and I was miserable and I had eczema all over my body. I was undernourished and I was overeating. And when I started eating breakfast, my workouts got harder. I stayed full longer. My cravings went away and I got hungry. I went from sugar craving and fat storing to fat burning, okay, and full and nourished. And I could feel that flip. It's like my metabolism flipped a switch from sugar burner to fat burner. That's what I want for you, okay? That's how it happens when you balance your blood sugars and you eat properly, okay? We focus on, I mean, also these diets say fruit is bad. There are some like high fruit sugars. So if you do have more of an insulin resistant weight loss problem, we want to focus on low sugar impact fruits, but all fruits fit, all food fits. Just eat it in that balance. It's super powerful. No naked carbs. Naked carbs are eating carbs alone. That is what killed me. I can speak to this because that's what I used to do, graze on carbs all day, naked carbs. When I started putting fat and protein together with my carbs, boom, I flipped my metabolic switch. I didn't have cravings. I stayed full longer. I took my body from sugar burning and fat storing. And like I said, it became a fat burner, which is what I want for you. We have a sugar addiction. It's not your fault completely. It's mindfulness. It's living a really fast-paced life. It's habits that we've built through those crazy years. It's culture. It's everywhere, and it's hard. But we have sugar addictions, and those will make it worse. So we got to work on those sugar addictions and be honest with ourselves. Which doesn't mean quit cold turkey, don't do anything. It means we need to work on sustainable habit change and actually rewire your brain around sugar. That's the only way to really do it. We do a lot of that in my programs. We need nutrition, habit mastery. We need to ditch fads. Like, again, you can see where the fasting, the keto, the juice cleansing, it doesn't help. Okay. We need to focus on good nutrition habits. I don't recommend, especially at the beginning of working with me, tracking, because tracking is a high level skill. We got to master some basic fundamental foundations of nutrition, which is what everybody skips. They go straight to the tracking and then they end up beating themselves up and obsessing. It creates more disordered eating and they can't stick to it. So then they fall off track and go back to binging on everything. We need to work on the foundations. I'm obsessed with helping you guys master these foundations, and they are not hard. They are very simple, but they're not easy to do on a day-to-day basis because life comes, right? So I told you I didn't know how long this was going to take. It's taken a while. So to do for this section, you guys, to balance your blood sugars, assess your current nutrition strategy, explore your diet history and your relationship with food. Start seeing food as fuel and understand you do not have to get it perfect, but you do have to take your nutrition seriously in these days, in these years. Like I'm very careful with nutrition because it's very emotional for women. I'm very eating disordered aware. I'm very trauma aware. But your nutrition also matters. It matters a lot. And I take that seriously. I remember, I think the first time I got really not obsessed, like I'm not obsessed with health and nutrition in an orthorexia kind of way, which is like that really unhealthy obsession with health and food. I'm not. I eat pizza. I have like margaritas most days of the week. Like I don't restrict and binge. I used to. I don't anymore because I've got my blood sugars, my macro balancing under control. But I watched this Jamie Oliver video and he said that there's generations of kids that don't know what real food is. Like they think it's Kraft dinner and Coke. And I was like, oh. And then again, my years of working in the hospital and seeing the effects of poor lifestyle choices and definitely food. And I worked with joint replacements a lot and joint replacement rehab, and women so frustrated with their bodies and their doctor telling them they have to lose weight. And I said, well, do you know how? And they said, yeah, I'll just stop eating. And I'm like, that's not going to work. and like little old ladies, like still counting calories at 80 with spinal fractures. And I'm like, our nutrition matters. We need to care about it though. We need to want to get it under control and not through the diets and through those sort of crazy, excessive, extreme ways, like just real nutrition. So when I teach, I always think like, this is how my Baba used to eat, right? I grew up on a farm and we ate real food. And that's what I want to teach my kids. And I take my nutrition very seriously. Again, I'm not perfect. I never want anyone to be perfect. We got to learn. All foods fit. We just got to learn how to be in control and understand basic balance of blood sugars. It's really important. Okay. Strategy 3, reverse insulin sensitivity and become a pro fat burner. Kind of just talked about all that actually. You want to build lean muscle. That's going to help because muscle is number one way to increase your metabolism. It also facilitates the use of carbohydrates and blood sugar balance. Okay. More movement in your day. Talked about that. Master your macros, which we just talked about. Mastering that macro balance is going to really help you. Smart carbs and good carb timing. Okay, remember I've talked already about carbs. Your body's more sensitive at night, or it's more able to process carbs in the morning versus at night for us women. We process those faster carbs around our workouts. We need them around our workouts to push and recover better. So that's really important. Low sugar impact. Look at the sugars in the food you're eating. If you look at the ingredients, have a look, start to become sugar aware. Okay. We need to unfuck your nutrition. Nutrition is a lot of mindset. It's a lot of diet culture, wiring of your brain. And we need to really work on that. In my program, we explore diet culture. We work on exploring your relationship with food and rewriting all of that. Because until we rewrite all of that, you can get stuck in old habits. Anytime you feel uncomfortable or hating on your body, you go back to dieting again. Even though you know with your conscious brain that 95% of diets don't work long-term, you're going to want to go back to it, and you will go back to it because we need to really unfuck your brain around food. This is what I've learned. This is one of the most powerful modules in my program because I have been working with people for so long and I'm like, the strategies are so simple. Why are people not doing them? And this is why, because our brains are wired to diet, because we've been socialized by diet culture since the time we were little girls. Be less, weigh less, eat less, be skinny, diet, don't eat, restrict. It's been coming at us since we were small. We're terrified of gaining weight. And so we think our brain wants to be comfortable, and that means better just stop eating. But that keeps making it worse. We got to really unwire and unlearn a whole lot of things so that you can take what I teach you and actually do it with consistency. See, a lot of people, this is what led me to create this and keep studying this stuff, because I'm like, oh, the habits are so easy, but people aren't doing them. This is why this module in the program will change your life. Okay, it's changed lives. Like, it's incredible. And then you need to liberate yourself from diet culture. Powerful. Okay, so to do, assess your current nutrition strategy. Oh, I have this one already. Same strategies as the last one. I don't know how I did that, but they are very similar. Okay, because until we get that nutrition right, you are at risk here of that insulin resistance. Okay, strategy 4: release stress, inflammation. Your body cannot burn fat if your body is inflamed. And again, your body is much more sensitive to stress and inflammation in these years. Okay, we want to be whole food focused. We want to start with the basics of foundational nutrition. No tracking, no counting food. That's high level. I find most people don't even need that when they master these basics, and they can only handle that data and that sciencey kind of tracking stuff once they master the foundations. And this stuff becomes stressful, which leads to more increase in cortisol, and people get so stressed about the numbers that they don't eat the food they're supposed to eat, and we just end up with more stress and inflammation. So I want to, when people work with me, we put the trackers and the apps to the side. I don't know if anyone is stressed about tracking their food and inputting everything. Like, what did we do before that? The world is more unhealthy, and obesity rates and chronic disease are skyrocketing now, and we have more apps now than we've ever had. Why are they not working? because they don't work and they cause so much psychological drama. So we need to master the foundations. We need to live with more mindfulness about what we're doing and putting in our body. Okay. The only foods that we say we want you to completely avoid are the foods you're allergic, sensitive, and intolerant to, because those foods will increase your internal stress and inflammation, which just messes everything up in your system, and you can't burn fat that way. You want to pay attention to how food makes you feel. We don't have like when I train people in the program, you don't get a list of foods to avoid. Teach you. We want you to be sugar smart. We want to give you ideas of what to eat, but everyone is unique. You need to start tuning into your body. Those trackers, apps, diets, they've tuned you out of your body. You don't even know how you feel. Most people don't even know hunger anymore. We don't know fullness. We don't notice how food makes us feel, and we're just on autopilot. And most people have normalized feeling miserable in their body. You don't even know how good your body is supposed to feel. We bring you back into your body. Okay. We get you noticing. When you notice and you think about and you connect those thoughts to how you feel, you can make lasting changes in your nutrition without the force and restriction of diets that never work. Okay. So be sugar smart, be alcohol, caffeine, gluten, and dairy aware. Our bodies do not process things the same as they used to as we get older. I can't drink wine anymore. I used to love it. It's inflammatory hugely to me these days. I can't have more than two drinks in an evening, or like I cannot sleep. Like it's awful. I wake up feeling like a truck hit me. So you got to keep this stuff in mind. Your body is changing as we get older, and it's going to continue to change. So be aware. Yes, alcohol, caffeine, gluten, and dairy are inflammatories, and sugar, but you got to tune into your body and see how you tolerate it. Okay. And see what you're willing to work on when you're willing to work on it. Rest days are important. You need more rest as you get older. I see a lot of people coming to me working out so much and then telling me, but I'm not getting results. I'm like, it's because you're doing too much. Your body needs rest because of the increased sensitivity to stress and inflammation. Okay. So you need more rest days. Listen to your body. Same thing. I always tell people, like, if you're not feeling it, don't force and be aggressive and work out when you're exhausted, because you just make it worse. It just increases more inflammation, which increases more cortisol and stress, which triggers more fat storage. You should have just taken the day off and went for a walk, because tomorrow you're going to feel better. You're going to be able to push it and crush it. Okay. Your workouts need to be less. Less is more as we get older. That's the reality. I do not work out every day, and I do not work out very long. I'm just really strategic, and I listen to my body, and I respect my body. I work in sync with my body. You also want to optimize sleep and your circadian rhythm. Sleep is more important than ever now. Okay. You want to be doing the right exercise. Like I said, too much of the wrong exercise is a bad thing for your metabolism and your body. Okay. Tune back into your body. That's strategy 4, release stress. So to-dos, go to bed earlier. Sleep is when you're recovering and regenerating and managing that cortisol and stress and inflammation and building that muscle. And without sleep, nothing gets better. So go to bed earlier. That's number 1 strategy. Just get in bed earlier. Okay. Eat enough during the day, starting with a protein-rich breakfast, and don't eat 2 hours before bed if you want to sleep better. And that's going to help you reduce stress and inflammation. Okay. Not eating during the day, skipping meals is stressful and inflammatory, increases cortisol, triggers storage. Again, eat that breakfast, eat a good breakfast, be full, nourish yourself during the day. And if you want to fast, don't eat 2 hours before bed and then go to sleep, and you've got probably a great 12-hour fast right there. Okay. So everyone's fussing about this don't eat breakfast, train fasted thing. And I'm all over here going, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, eat and then don't eat before bed, because you'll actually sleep better. It is one way to improve your sleep in perimenopause is to not eat before bed, unless you're hungry, then you have to eat. So there's always that in there too. So don't take that as Carrie said, don't eat before bed. No, if you're hungry and you've missed a meal in the day, your body's going to be hungry. You need to feed it. Okay. And sometimes when women start eating more carbs again, they actually get more hungry. Strategy 5, emotional and nervous system regulation. This is moving from hustle and grind to flow and ease. We've gotten through the earlier years in our life, and we've gotten to where we are in life because we've worked hard. There's a point where that backfires on us, and that hustle and grind, we need to start to ease into some flow. And I talk about this like going from that masculine energy and pulling in some more feminine ease, kindness for ourselves. Okay. Optimize your circadian rhythm, right? Get up with the sun, go to bed earlier. Okay. Nervous system regulation, knowing like legs up the wall, learning how to calm your nervous system. What happens in these times is we're not as able to tolerate stress. Our nervous system, our sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive. And when you're in overdrive, you're stressed and inflamed, right? We got to pull that down. We've got to find flow and ease. This is where we do thought work on those negative thoughts and shift them, breath work, connecting, bringing awareness back into our body, studying your stresses in life, your triggers, and staying out of that red zone, right? That red stress zone, because stress builds. And if you don't know your triggers and you don't know how to calm your nervous system, and those just keep building, then you just end up in that zone, right? Stress and inflammation. Got to bring it down. Okay. And you got to have your own daily strategies. That's unique to everybody. It's just, learn how to slow down and tap into the parasympathetic nervous system. Find what works for you and do it daily. And I know people say, don't have time and I have so much other things to do and I'm so busy. Like I said, we got to start taking care of ourselves. And it's about more than diet and exercise. If you can't calm your nervous system and cope with your emotions without eating them, drinking them, beating yourself up about those emotions, you're going to be stuck no matter how good your nutrition and exercise is. Okay. And this will help you balance your blood sugars, reduce your cravings, binges, and overall affects your metabolic health. Stress is huge, and it's not tangible like diet and exercise are. It doesn't give us this like exercise is this immediate gratification. That's hard. It's hard when it comes to stress. It's subtle, but that chronic stress, it's killing our nervous system and our hormones and our metabolism. And again, we pushed through those years of kids and pandemic and pushing careers and raising kids and not sleeping. And also, we're not really taught to manage our emotions well. One of the modules we work through in the program is on emotional mastery. Because what we often do is we feel these big emotions, we put the kids to bed, and then we just down 3 glasses of wine, or we binge eat all the food, all the junk food, because we don't know how to process through our emotions. Huge. It's called buffering. And we got to get you to work on those emotions and learn how to sit with them and process them without trashing your body. And that's so common. Okay. I know you better than you know yourself. So to do for this section is do a social media detox. That's really helpful. And ask yourself how you can slow down and make more time to take care of your health. Right? Slow down. How can you slow down? Most of us are always trying to take more on, but you can't take more on unless you take some other stuff off. And you can't prioritize your health until you decide that you're ready. And then strategy 6, one of my favorite strategies. I push hard, you guys. I push my body hard. I understand the science. I understand the physiology, but I also know how to really pull back and nourish my body with kindness, rest, and really meet my body wherever it's at in whatever stage of life I'm in. And I didn't do that for a while, and I did not like how that felt. And that's why I'm very in tune with my body. And so strategy 6 is rebuild body trust, intuition, and reconnect with your now body. Your body is changing. Our bodies change because our hormones change. We can't really fight that, and we can't be angry at that. And so that's what this strategy is all about. It's like becoming your biggest cheerleader and your best mother. Like the things that we say to ourselves as women about our bodies are things that we wouldn't say to anybody else. We're so nasty to ourselves, and that's not serving us at all. And so we've got to really start to watch those words and work on that. And that's a whole strategy we have. We do one of the modules called body image rehab. We really look at how we see ourselves. There's different stages of body image: body violence, body hatred, body neutrality is where I want to get you to, and then body respect and body peace. And when you're in violence and hatred, like that's when you're trashing your body, right? And we want to come to a place of neutrality and remember, diet culture tells us we must be small, we must be beautiful. And body neutrality tells us that your body is how you experience the world. It's how you hug your kids, and it's how you breathe the air and see. It's like your body is a vehicle. It truly is your temple for how you experience the world beyond simply how it looks. And diet culture has made you think that you are worthless if you don't fit into their norm of beauty. And as women, everything's told to us for anti-aging and get smaller. And it's like, no, let's embrace where we're at in this world and take care of our now body. So we work on ditching the apps, the trackers, and the counting obsession. I want to help you understand and ditch diet culture. Don't look back and try to fit into your old clothes and have your 20-year-old body and energy back. Meet yourself now and look forward. Build the healthiest body you can now. Learn to listen to your body, respect it, work with it. Embrace this phase of life for what it is and take your power back. Or you can choose to struggle and be frustrated with yourself, right? I mean, the choice is yours. Struggle and be frustrated, or step back into your power now. I'm not anti-aging. That's the problem. I'm about helping you step into this phase of life with knowledge and strategies about what's going on and what you can do. Okay, this is, like I said, this is actually one of my favorite modules. I am not a fitness unicorn. I just understand physiology and these deeper things. It's not just diet and exercise. I respect my body deeply, and I really do see my body as my temple. I treat it that way. And that's what I love to help you guys come into, okay? So strategies for this one is start listening to your body's hunger cues. Make a list of all the things that your body allows you to do in this life. And have gratitude for that. Decide that you're ready to take care of it, okay? Bonus strategy to help you build a fitter, leaner, stronger body. Support, community, and mentorship. I think that women now more than ever are feeling really alone. The internet is full of information, that it's information overload, and no one knows what to do, and we get stuck in our heads spinning. And this is why we're struggling. And I think there was a phase in my life when I had the little kids and a lot of chaos at home. I didn't have the energy for communities. I didn't have the energy to coach women. I could barely keep my head above water. And that's when I really learned about my body and really honed in all these skills that I now have. I worked with thousands of women in small groups. And I didn't really want to do much live coaching because I didn't have the energy. But now I'm 43 and I have more energy, and I'm craving community. And the women who sign up for my coaching programs are also craving community and support and conversations about this stuff, because we're not having them. And all the information on the internet is crap and not working, and we're frustrated and spinning. And if that's you and you've been out there and spinning for a long time, then maybe you are ready to work with me in my Fitter, Leaner, Stronger midlife method, because it's also hard to do this alone. We need to get out of our head. We need to have conversations, and we need to step by step take slow steps. We have to stop expecting to do it alone. Stop expecting that life's going to change because of some magic fad diet that we do for a week, a month. That doesn't work. It takes a long time. We've got a lot of unlearning to do, a lot of relearning to do, a lot of stepping back into body respect again. And that takes time. It takes support. Okay. I have a professional team here to help you, to support you every step of the way. As you learn this information, knowledge is potential power. Knowledge plus implementation over time is where results happen. That's where lives are changed. Okay. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here to help you guys do. Okay. We already have this one. This is an extra one. I was getting tired at this point when I was making this. Okay, you guys, that was long. I told you, I nerded out. I'm going to teach you everything I know. And I did. I've been going for what, 2 hours? My computer's going to die soon. But what we covered today, the phases of the female life cycle, the unique hormone changes of perimenopause, the common signs and symptoms that you're experiencing in perimenopause, basic medical management, adaptogens, the don'ts of perimenopause, and the solution, the fitter, leaner, stronger in midlife methodology. Okay. Now I have lost control of the chat. I've lost control because I was really focused. I get really into it when they teach you the what to do, because that's my zone. I can get lost in the science. Like, it can be a lot, but when it comes down to what you have to do, whether you're in perimenopause, pre-perimenopause, or menopause, that fitter, leaner, stronger solution is what you need to do. It's nice to know what's going on so that you can like take that guilt off your shoulders, right? Like, oh my God, my hormones are changing. But what you need to do works for all of you. It's like everyone needs to be doing this stuff. And I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you're still with me. Should we not do set bedtime and wake up? Yes, that's awesome if you can. I go to bed at 9, get up at 5 every day. I am like clockwork. If you sleep train your baby, sleep train yourself. I'm not going to go through all these questions right now. So we'll have a Q&A in the group. I opened up a Facebook group for this workshop, so we can have some Q&A and discussion in there. But this has been a long workshop so far, and I've taught you guys a ton. I've shared with you guys how to build a fitter, leaner, stronger body, given you everything you need to know. And I don't want to make this like more information overload. So let me ask you a question. Are you ready to ditch chasing weight loss and fad diets and instead start to work with your female physiology and focus on increasing your metabolism, balancing your blood sugars, and working with your body so that you can start building a fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier body for life? But this feels like maybe it's a lot. You don't really know where to go, or you're not sure if you can do this on your own, but you want some kind of guidance and personalized support. You are ready for that. I want to tell you about my fitter, leaner, stronger midlife method. This is for you if you are currently craving, restricting, binge eating, and feeling toxic and out of control in your body. If you're struggling with weight loss resistance, especially around the midsection, if you're exhausted, if you're confused about nutrition and how to fix this, if you're working out but it doesn't look like it, if you want to start working out but you want the most effective workout strategy, I mean, that's all of you. You all told me why you're here. You told me what you're struggling with. And so that's you. And I totally get it. And that's why I created this program. And that's why, like I said, I didn't coach this for a long time. And I have been recently. I've had a few amazing group programs and a few amazing one-on-one clients that we've just really transformed their lives from the inside out. Because again, it's not just diet and exercise. There's a million workouts and a million meal plans and recipes on the internet. We don't know how to put those together. And then there's the deeper psychological issues around diet culture and body image and brain rewiring and like tuning into your intuition and stepping into your now body and learning how to respect that body. And in the programs I've done, we've just had like amazing transformations. And again, inside out transformations. And I want to do more of that. I love working with you guys. It's so fun. And this program is not for you if you want to stay focused solely on weight loss, on the scale and restrictions. It's not for you if you're looking for a quick fix, if you're looking for a fad diet, a cleanse, or a detox solution that's going to happen in 7 days. It's not for you if you don't want to learn anything about your body, if you don't want to do things differently. And it's not for you if you want to do it alone. Okay. This program is for women who are ready to learn and who are keen to learn, who are ready to do the work, who want to increase their metabolism, to build a fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier body for life. And it's for women who want support, who want to have conversations, who want expert guidance. Okay, that's not everybody, but if that's you, you know it. When I take programs, I want conversations. I want coaching. I want community. I want to get out of my head and talk to people. And that's what this program is. It's not just a Facebook group. Okay. So what's included in the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife Method? Again, this is not designed for 20-year-olds. This is designed for pre-menopause, menopause women. Okay. It includes 16-week education program, coaching and mentorship container for the deep conversations and personalized support you need for real results. Okay, 16 weeks. It's a coaching container. I want you in, I want you coming, I want you talking, I want you asking questions. I want to help you personalize and get this under control. Good initial one-to-one 60-minute personalized metabolic assessment with me or one of our coaches, recommendations, personalized recommendations, and the complete program tour. So you're not signing up and getting confused and overwhelmed and not doing anything. I want you signing up and focused and knowing what to do step by step of the way. And I want someone to hold your hand through that process step by step, because you are focused and also as committed as I am. Super committed to my coaching programs, and I want people to work with who are also super committed to their health and this program, okay? To themselves, not the program, but to their own transformation. You get the complete step-by-step, go at your own pace, fitter, leaner, stronger midlife method program. There's 3 weekly Zoom coaching and accountability calls per week. Anytime you have a question, come. The support of a group of women and expert coaches is so powerful. You don't have to come to all the coaching calls. It's just nice to know that there's always calls. You can always come and talk to me and ask me questions and tell me what the struggle is. And we're going to work through the challenges. That's the most powerful thing. And there will be challenges. It's not that there's never going to be challenges. There will be lots of challenges, but these coaching calls are amazing because that's where we're going to work through those challenges and not have you spiral downhill for like 3 to 6 months, which is what happens, right? You're going to have a problem. We're going to fix it. We're going to get back on. Okay. Private Facebook group and chat thread with dedicated health experts, just for those who are signed up. Effective strength and HIIT workout protocols designed to increase your metabolism for pre and postmenopausal women. Macro balanced, carb smart recipe guide, so you don't have to go searching the internet, with access to a women's health holistic nutritionist at all times to check your recipes or help you check your ingredient lists on the food that you're eating so that you know what you're doing, not just guessing. You can get loads of resources. We have so many resources. And if you don't know something or you have a question and we don't know the answer, we have got people and coaches on staff that can create those resources for you. We create resources on the spot for our clients all the time. You get the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger daily habit protocol checklist, so you know exactly what to do. Because I've given you all this stuff, it's actually really simple what you do on a day-to-day basis now, and you'll do it better because now you know why, right? Everyone says drink water, and you're like, well, that's so easy. It's no big deal. It's like, well, that's why. It's gonna help you with your night sweats. It's on the list. That's one of the daily habits, and there's a checklist of daily habits for you. You get 16 weeks of weekly accountability checks. So personal, individualized accountability checks with your coaching team every week. Each week we will send you an accountability form. And this is unique to each person. Some people want that accountability and some people just want to check in and conversation, because sometimes that accountability, did you do it? Did you not do it? Is actually stressful. It's not about being rigid and perfect. It's about like continuing to show up for yourself, continuing to take action, and continuing to stay focused. Those weekly calls are about helping you stay focused and supported. and reminding yourself what the goal is and what you're doing. Because I find with people, especially in the Facebook group programs I've done for salons, they lose focus. They have a bad day and they lose focus and I never hear from them again. I want to hear from you every week on calls. I want to see you. I want to talk to you. I want to cheer for you. I want to help you when you're struggling. That's what we all need. There's so much information on the internet and it's not helping. It's overload. And it's hard to figure out what we need and what to do. And so that's what the program is all about. No menopausal woman has to feel overweight, overwhelmed, unheard, or drained anymore. This program will change everything for you. You've done so much for others over the years, and now is your time to focus on you. It's time to take care of your body, because like I said, it gets harder, and it gets harder as the years go by. And as I know from working in acute care for a decade, it's the biggest regret of people. Why did I not take better care of myself? Okay. A lot of people didn't know. They didn't have this kind of education. We're super entitled to have this kind of education. Not everyone has this, but we do have it. So we should be using it. So are you ready to start working with your body instead of against her and feel incredible in your own skin again? So from here you have a choice. Which path are you going to take? Path one, you are going to take all this amazing information I've given you, and I've given you a ton, and you're going to try to implement it on your own. You might end up wasting time, money on other things and detoxes and cleanses and 30-day challenge programs and energy trying to put all the pieces together, workouts, meal plans, metabolism, smart carbs, all that stuff. Or you can finally get the info, resources, support, guidance, and accountability you need to get the results you want without wasting another minute. And if that's you, I invite you to join the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Midlife Method. I didn't put the price. It's $9.97 to join us in the 16-week program, and there's only 20 spots available. I want this to be small group, tight, focused. Okay. I want only people who are invested in themselves and who want conversations and who want to focus and work on their health. I love being around women who want to learn and who want to take better care of themselves. I just, it gives me energy and I know I can help you. So it's like a neat package. So that's what I've got for you today, you guys. I can put the link to the program. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put the link to the program in the chat. I'll also put it in the Facebook group, and I will I'll send it in an email. If you are interested, you can just join. There's only 20 spots available. If you have questions, you want to talk to me, send me a message. Let's chat, see if this is for you. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you learned a ton. Do you have any recipes for this? I have all my recipes in the program, because recipes are the easiest part. Recipes are the easy part. It's the doing of the recipes. It's the eating and getting the emotional eating under control and getting the macro balancing, understanding under control. The recipes are the easy part. That's in the program though. Amazing workshop. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I gotta go eat lunch. I'm starving. I'm feeling hungry, which is what you learned and what we talked about today. And so when you're feeling hungry, that means you gotta eat a macro balanced meal to balance your blood sugars, nourish your body, fuel your body, and keep your body full for the next bunch of hours so that your body can become a pro fat burner. Take care, you guys. Thank you so much.